Beautiful Dean, and we are here on Dust2, a surprising pick coming out from ENCE in all honesty. We'll see what they'll be able to
go or something like that. They were able to get a win on it. Obviously, since then, fnatic have picked up their level a little bit, and I do think that this is going to be just a very difficult series for ENCE in general. If they can bring it to Inferno, I think that maybe that could be a competitive one, but again, if fnatic are playing like we know they can play on Inferno, then it'd just be a tough one in general. I think most people do expect fnatic to be the ones coming out on top of this series, and right now against that eco, this round should be straightforward. 4 already, actually 3 at that point, 4 eventually for flusha. And yeah, pretty
expected ENCE to pick into Mirage to start it off, if anything. Even look back at I Am Katowice. Navi were one of the teams that were dominating on Dust2, and fnatic took them down in a pretty impressive feat, their T side especially. So it's important for ENCE to get off to a good start in this buy round, and they've managed to get the first kill, even with Sergey losing quite a bit of HP, and also force flusha back.
Player has been moved in that direction as well, but let's see what the goal is eventually going to be, because for now they are still just looking to make sure they can get this short control. They realize now that no one's up close. Smoke, I believe, going down just towards short here. Could give them the option if they want to try and drop into the CT spawn, but over on long, we do eventually see Crim's actually getting one. Doesn't expect it to be followed up, so with that, Alu at least is able to trade. And now over towards the ramp, there's a player that's caught in a very difficult position, being Brolan. Not really able to do too much as he gets blinded and taken down. Golden then trying to rotate into the CT.
And like I said, now they face off against just pistols, and so this should be a second on the board. I'm really worried about this T side event if they don't get themselves up with a convincing barrel of rounds up to stacked up on short with a couple pistols. The flash can go through from flusha, and you'll see them then peek out afterwards and hopefully find a couple of frags. Strategy that could work for one, but as Crims gets shut down, it's increasingly likely that fnatic walk away from this one with not a whole bunch done. They have still got 2 players stacked up on short, so flusha and JW. Little bit of a chance with the Deagles, but ENCE have got plenty of utility to flush them off these angles and push into the bomb site cleanly.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea that they went for something there with the flash. They had Brolan try and peek the doors there as well. Once the short peek came in, see if he could catch the time, and just didn't work out. Still will be a little bit low. Even then, we'll be able to get his rifle and a few nades behind it. But here we go. Eventually, this push does begin to come in. Nicely placed Molotov on the bomb site. That should flush JW out into a much harder position to hold from. Immediately back on the ramp. Still has a decent angle, to be fair, but that Molotov making it hard for Sunny to really see what's going on. Eventually, he decides to focus on flush it instead. And there it is. Alu actually the entire time. See him try and find a pick early, just because they know, of course, that they're not actually up against an offer. Decides to play it safe, though. With this, he can solo B. So yeah, it's given them the opportunity to...
Okay. It looked to be selling that little bit of a fake, the smoke, to delay any further info from coming through on the A site. And later on, they'll be splitting in through middle, where Crims has got a big task on hand.
Yeah, and unfortunately only able to get 1 kill before going down. Roland was nearby to give some assistance, but again, the trades are just available for fnatic. They're slowing this down. They've dropped the bomb in mid, and Golden ends up coming out with a double on that AWP before falling. And the main thing being, as I said, that bomb getting dropped now in mid, that puts Sunny in a very awkward spot trying to actually retrieve it, working against the clock. And currently against that Molotov that flush is thrown down to try and delay a little bit further, just using his utility, putting it down on the bomb itself, ensuring that it really is going to be cutting as close as possible for Sunny. And in the meantime, it's given time for JW to just wrap in behind on the B bomb site. Even if Sunny somehow was able to get that bomb and run back in time to start planting it, JW just has a free kill, and even then he doesn't make it in time. So indeed, fnatic going to be able to snatch that one away. A great hold.
CT side. So despite losing the round, ENCE actually kind of end up in a better position overall. Looking for an early long push. Alu on his way in with the op. He's got a victim. And with Brolan falling,
the decision to go and get that short control, which may just work out for them. I mean, JW does want to try and re-aggress here, which is going to be very dangerous. Doesn't hit his initial shot and decides to drop back down where he can get the help of flusha, but still just trying to pick these up. Not really been able to connect, and at this point, forced back into the spawn. flusha going to be forced back over towards long. And with that, just going to have to concede this plant now. I mean, they're still in a pretty decent position in the 4-on-4. They have the op that can maybe try and pick someone off. They still have flusha with that long control as well. It really comes down to these initial kills on short. And it's Sunny who's up close, who's able to find one. No immediate trades being found. JW, though, taking his time. Okay, gonna wait and see if anyone else will show themselves. Obviously, it's JW. He will go for the knife. Unfortunately, that's all he gets, though. I don't know. It's not like he could have done much better with the op once he shot off the first round anyway. Likely would have been traded on, but yeah, a little bit of extra money with the knife. flusha, though, forced to just run away at this point. He's just been chilling on long pretty much the entire round.
I'm just going to be saving over there on long. The AK at least carried through to the next round, but like we were hinting at, that's a pretty big problem for Fnatic 5, as Fnatic would have to take an eco. That's a huge play early.
Obviously, they're not going to be up against the greatest of buys, but they are aware of the fact that they've reset the money, that Fnatic are going to string together whatever they can. And you never know what crazy sort of stuff they might be pulling out in this round, but already a little bit of contact now being taken around mid. Crims instantly being forced back off. That's really just giving the room for ENCE.
But it happens. It's going to be a split towards B in the end. They're already out on the bomb side here. This is a little bit risky. JW down below with the deagle in hand. He's good for one. Picked up a rifle, but again, before he can get to use it, is dispatched with. And at this point, Fnatic should really be going for a save. There's 8 seconds, but it's quite likely the bomb gets planted. And Crims is the only one that can really stick around and look to force anything else out in the end. You're not going to want to retake in this situation, and those 2 rifles are valuable and unobtainable.
Go for something maybe a little bit more aggressive, perhaps. So far, they've been getting kind of beat out on long a lot of the time. We already seen them try that short aggression, one of course going down by 2 rounds after dropping the pistol. And indeed, I think they are going to boost some players up towards short. Crims going over, Golden as well. Flusha actually entrusted over towards B with that AK, so he's going to be soloing on this side of the map. And it looks like we will find very quick contact here on short indeed. The head of Aerial just about to pop up. And
short, and so still looking to hit in towards the A bomb site. That's a bit of a curiosity for me. But I guess they suspect that maybe that AK is on B then. If they split the rifles a little bit, they'd certainly be right in that assumption. As Fnatic fall back to the bomb site, they've given up long control, allowing ENCE to claim that and look to move. Oh, I was going to say to move into pit, but Sergey's actually stuck out in the open. Talking about the open, Sunny just walks into B, which is now completely open. Flusha coming back in, spots the player, and sprays away to take him down and save the day, but sadly... Well, not actually that sad. He spots out no one else is B. That info then gives them the fact that it's probably going to be an A hit. Crims tries to push forward, can't get anything done. Golden caught out in the open in CT. Not a chance, and Flush had gone to push as a team, but I guess they also wanted to check out if it was maybe going to be an A stack or something like that. And losing the one player isn't going to hurt them much.
And it's just trying to go back to what was working for them earlier with this immediate long push, trying to get the control. This time actually sending the second player out to commit to it. And Aerial, with that assistance from Alu, finds a quick headshot. Sergey, if he can return this, should give them that full control. And in the meantime, Sunny has also just walked up short, so they've got this A bomb site already. Unless Golden from the spawn is able to pull off some sort of a miracle. And it does look like he wants the challenge quite heavily. The issue is just not expecting Sunny to be up close already. Brolin, he's just done. There's nothing that he can even try anymore in this 1-on-3. Without the bomb having even gone down already, he realizes that his only option is to just run away and save.
Yeah, absolutely. Brolin's got no real opportunities to get in for a 1v3 challenge. But the fact that they've gotten off to such a good early half, this is the foundation's already built. If they lose a round, yeah, no problem. They're buying up. Lose a second, still no worries. They're back with more. So Fnatic need to have consistent buy rounds. And on Dust2, that can be really hard to do. Like winning consecutive rounds, you know, rifles versus rifles, 3 in a row before you break an economy. It's not the easiest of things.
Yeah, just in general, as you said on Dust2, it can be difficult to just stop the momentum of the team, especially when they're on that T side once they get going. It's definitely tough, just because there's not a lot of different things you can try as the CT side, so if one thing isn't working, then it's a little bit tougher to swap up as it might be on some other maps, maybe a little bit more limited in such in the actual CT aggression that you can go for, as already we've seen them attempted towards short a couple times. Right now, though, this is, of course, would even come out and potentially come out with a very strong half. But for now, we do need to see if they can overcome these pistols. I mean, 1M4, we've seen less do a lot more. And especially in the hands of Brolin, the man who was the MVP back at Pro League for Fnatic. A nice shot, a nice attempt, rather, nearly being found for Alu, as the player below him was blinded. It was a crazy flick, though, wasn't quite able to connect it. Fortunately, he does stay alive, that's the main thing. And gets a little bit of info about what was going over towards that A-bomb site, spotting 2 players, I believe.
And with 30 seconds left on the clock, ENCE have got no choice really but to finish on A. They're going to have to walk straight past the CZ that's up close. Flush it in the corner, looking to catch Sergey, but he comes out trying to spot the info, and unfortunately he got it, but it came at a pretty heavy price. Crims has managed to pick up an AK here with the drop down by Aerial. That's a bit of a mistake. JW out on the deagle, looking to catch them, but he can't. And being shut down now. The 3 players in CT look to do it, but tapping away, Sergey deals with, or with Brolin, excuse me. And the bomb plan comes through just in time. Crims has the AK, but he's stuck in the corner. Getting out of there is going to be pretty difficult. Luckily, Sergey's actually pulled back, so he's got a chance. He's running for it, hightailing it, and covered by Golden, he's made it away.
Yeah, Golden with this M4 probably also wants to retreat. I mean, it's still definitely recoverable from this point. 7 over the ENCE fnatic can bring it back up to 7 or 8 themselves. I think at that point will anyway. But it still helps out, especially for Crims, as you said. You obviously can't get the AK yourself on the CT side. Having that one shot to the head ability is always nice.
Maybe decided to leave Train and not ban it, but that was the only thing they were going to ban realistically, as Vertigo is taken out, obviously. So realistically, there's no way it could have went better, but I don't see a veto system that ENCE are happy with. It switches our thoughts over towards thinking Fnatic are in trouble. But
yeah, this is an interesting approach. I mean, there's still a bit of utility towards B also to try and delay this. They have one smoke that they can put down towards the door, allow them to focus maybe more so towards one of the choke points. As now they will begin to move forward indeed. I believe just being spotted there as well, so they caught it over. Golden ends up jumping up, taking down Sergey with a quick headshot. For the moment, though, they aren't really aware of the fact that everyone is coming in through mid, so you can see they're both kind of just hiding out. Golden was more so focused on the tunnel. At this point, realizes that there's at least one more player around that mid door, and actually lines them up as they try and come through. That's the bomb getting dropped, leaving it all on Alu, who they do know is back towards mid. Already taken one with the up, but I think he may be limited to that. Actually gets the leg on Golden, but he's just running out of time. There's 14 seconds left. He's pressured, of course, to just try and... But they themselves not having really built up any money. If they were to lose this one again, would probably just be looking at an eco. And that's unfortunate. Roland's gone. Straight through the smoke, straight through the gap of the door. Alu is just like, yeah, you got one round, but that's it.
Where's Flusha with the opening onto Aerial, backing off immediately, looking for the site. Finally, an opening that's not answered back on. Fnatic, man advantage. And ENCE are going to have to claw this back. JW goes out for the peek, and he suffers. Sergey takes a bit of damage, but that's from his teammate. And down goes Flusha. Out of nowhere, Fnatic are now behind in the round, locked out of the site as the bomb makes its way over, and a plant comes through. Short and long control goes towards ENCE. A Fnatic, I mean, this was working out so well for them, but JW getting taken down for free just left the bomb site player with his pants down, getting split in from short and long. And I mean, really, we should be looking at a save yet again. The money isn't great. These two rifles need to be dropped over to Flusha and JW later on, but these CTs are going forward. Fnatic don't want to give this one up.
Yeah, they want it. As you can see, Flash goes in to give them some sort of an opening. Sunny's the man who's holding off from long and is the one who takes that first point of contact, and actually does find the kill. Golden only able to return one. At that point, he was our player towards that mid/B side of the map, which I don't think was exactly the case. Crims was still down there. There was one player that pushed up on short, one fighting aggressively towards long as well. So Fnatic were kind of just challenging everywhere that they could, and despite those couple of openings actually being pulled back, it does just collapse. And at this point now, ENCE, they want to switch it up. They're going for a straight up B rush, and they're not finding anything so far. Sunny gets one, and they are aware that there's another player on the bomb site. Unfortunately, though, Golden playing around that smoke snatches one away, and at this point, he's just trying to waste as much time as he can to let his teammates rotate in.
Sunny's got that bomb, and as soon as the smoke fades, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. 3 players all around him. He's going to go in towards CT. Didn't quite catch the angle down below, but he sees JW now, catches the play in the window, and he's looking for the second, but JW escapes, and just to get domed a second later. They know Golden was on the bomb site just a few moments ago, and so off to A. What a round by ENCE. What a turnaround. And as Golden starts to move down, he's flashed. He has no idea Alu's still waiting here at the tunnels as the bomb makes it onto the site. Steps being made by Golden. Alu should be hearing them. And going out the doors in just a moment. Sunny knows he's there. Move back towards short where the bomb is planted for him. Again, Fnatic off to a decent start. Well, a fantastic start, really, but one individual play later, and they're behind. Golden spotted Sunny, but here comes the swing from Alu. Can't be expected to be in that position that late on.
So I'm kind of surprised at how flat they are looking so far here on Dust2. Definitely not getting the individual performances that we expect. I mean, Brolan, as I said in that last round, at one point was 1 kill and 9 deaths, was able to redeem himself there with a couple eventually coming in, but we need to see it obviously in these rounds now where it matters. Fnatic looking to try and salvage a little bit on the CT side, and this could be a chance. I mean, X7 pinned in that corner will be naded. Fortunately, it's Counter-Strike. Loads of other little nades don't come out with that nade, so he just survived.
A little bit of it.
It's because you steal my characters.
They took her characters. JW with an opening. Alu's down. The molly to try and stop them from taking that AWP, but Aerial knows there's going to be some players close. Bit of pressure on lower as well, and JW's made it in and out as quick as can be. JWP back towards the bomb site where he looks to hold down, blocked off by the smoke, but he might catch Sunny coming up the ramp now. He decides to bail off the angle. Moves in towards the CT spawn. Saving this off in the next round would actually be huge for them, but another kill comes through. Now the game plan changes. It's time to go in for this potentially in a 4v3 with an AK in hand. It's definitely winnable, and it looks like long control is what they're going for, but X7 hears them. He knows there's at least 2 out. Catches a bit of damage, and he can just wait here and get a crossfire. But his teammates know he challenges again, even on low HP. ENCE might just be throwing this one away.
As you say that, though, I do realize Sergey has a fairly confident position. Unfortunately, not able to actually get that lineup like it looked like was possible, and now it's all on Sunny. Everyone's tagged up heavily, but there's still a decent amount of time at this point, and Brolan just runs in with that AK, gets the headshot, and I believe does just about have this defuse. It's going to be extremely close, though. I'm slightly clenching. Oh, he doesn't have it. It was so close. I couldn't tell. I actually just couldn't tell it was that.
Save forward the AWP as well, so some pretty big impact coming through by the CD side, but a shame they didn't manage to get their 5th on the board. I mean, that should have been theirs. That ends double digits, 8Ks and up. They move down through middle immediately and open that up, leaving Brawlin to hold down on B by himself. He's being split. 4 players coming in through the CT spawn, and as he looks up above in window, he oopsie daisies catches Alu, but is immediately traded out. And although normally they would be saving this, fnatic have to go for it. It's the last round, and look at X7's position. This could be dirty.
Yeah, at the moment, just really trying to hold off this rotation as long as he can. And with this is here, and I believe all of the footsteps at this point. So he's allowed for his entire team to just focus in. Very, very near defuse. That was maybe a couple milliseconds off. Just all around, there was a few chances for fnatic that they definitely did let go. Not all of them being their fault, such as the defuse, but right now they're actually just going to straight up rush B. I mean, not wanting to go anything too crazy, keeping it simple and just looking to try and hit their shots. And so far, they are actually managing to do so. Brolan, Flusha, and Crims all joining in. It was actually Flusha, I believe, finding one around short there. May have been in mid as he was holding off the rotation, but leaving just 2 players now for ENCE. Sunny and Alu trying to come in. They do have a kit. They have a flash. Thrown both of them over, but unfortunately not finding any openings off the back of it. So Sunny already being dinked up, looks to fade away, but that's not going to be allowed. They don't let show us something good. Then perhaps that's when I could start believing that the comeback could be a reality.
Yeah, I don't think winning this round is going to really puff us up with confidence, right? ENCE just on USPs. They've 5-man stacked on B. A lot of danger here for Flusha. He's got the Mac 10, so some money-making potential, but no kills found. Immediately, though, they're going to start pushing A. They realize there's at least 3 players there in tunnels. Brawlin's a bit late, throwing the molly down, but he's spraying them through, and almost the ace to come through. Still a 2nd kill for ENCE. I mean, overall, this is a pretty damn good round. They invested nothing, and they walk away with 2 kills. I'll take those odds.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to be upset. And so far, JW is not connecting the scout shots like he's been trying to. I do actually need to make that comeback a reality. As we said, though, this is the round that we're looking towards to actually see if it's going to be possible or not. If they can get this first gun round, I think that's when a lot of people can start believing, okay, yeah, they definitely can make this happen. So far, though, just taking things slowly, nothing too crazy coming in. I mean, we've seen ENCE many times just rushing straight out towards.
Defaults and then late hitting this is very common for them. That's a much more aggressive molly than what we normally see. You're usually going to see them start to move down, throw their smokes out on short, and then spread out into taking the later control. But because they've given up long at this point, it's probably not going to be an A hit. Usually we see from them, if they don't have that control towards long, at least one player lurking outside of it within the first 50 seconds or so, they're going to be hitting over towards the B side or just single committing through short, which is far less common for them. And immediately there, they're opening it onto Sunny. That's a brave push by Sergey. Another player swinging out. ENCE are taking this defense very proactively, and it's working for them. X7 in there with 1, looking for the 2nd on the side itself, but couldn't get it done. And so a 2v2, but the bomb is still left to be planted. Alu catches the kill, in fact, as Brawlin trades, but look where Aerial is. He's already on the site, and I don't know if they're fully aware of this. Looks like the suspicion was in, and Brawlin with the headshot to close it out just in time. Sub 10.
3K and the clutch from Brolin. Nice attempt though. Alu actually been able to deny that player jumping over, and then of course having the quick flank through tunnels. Could have been the end of that round. Fortunately, Brolin did expect it. A nice flash was placed over, and as you said, this round here, probably not going to be too much of a fight from ENCE. They have a few pistols being upgraded a little bit more than we seen from them earlier on, to be fair, when they did actually get some damage with just the USPs. So you can never count them out. This time though, not really going for anything as crazy. Instead of going for any sort of aggression, instead just stacking up towards that B bomb site and hoping that they will have a couple people push in. And I mean, flush it, although I don't know if they want to hold short. Yeah, it looks like Brolin is going to stick around. Needs to be careful. He's actually got spammed through the smoke.
Prims is tucked in a pretty good position. The only problem is if he falls at that point, ENCE managed to pick up an AK long control and the possibility to really get back in there, but no kits. Now they've lost those two, so it's just going to be playing exits here realistically. Alu moving forward with the MAC-10 in hand. He sees nobody on long, but he's not checking his close corner. Oh, Crims, not another one for fnatic. He's got the patience, the discipline to not go for it as he swings through for the kill. Ariel's just going to hold outside of doors, and I doubt they exit here completely. It looks like JW's thinking about it. I mean, he just cleared close with the AWP as well. That's not really the weapon I'd want to be committing. If he had died, if Ariel was...
So it definitely would have helped him out, but it's still a decent buy here from ENCE. They are looking, of course, to try and get something going here on the CT side before it really does begin to get out of hand. One positive being, though, fnatic really aren't building up quite as dominant of an economy, or as strong of an economy as we've seen from ENCE in their early rounds, so there is still definitely some chances here for ENCE if they do pick up a round to immediately put a dent in that economy. Right now though, good damage already being found by that op initially, and then Golden trying to creep out mid ends up getting caught by X7, who I believe is just playing around a smoke. So this is looking much, much better. Indeed, ENCE with those ops, not only finding a kill, but also tagging down two players relatively heavily. JW is just actually going to walk straight up mid. Right now, fnatic just trying some wild things, realizing they are in a very difficult spot. JW somehow not able to connect that shot there in the CT spawn, and it's actually the flank that I wasn't even paying attention to that comes in and just immediately cleans up. Brolin being so low, can't even afford to try and trade it. He's just left hiding in the corner, and by the time he does peek, Alu is ready to come in and help his teammate out.
What a huge flank coming through from Sunny. The double kill essentially leading to the third. Flusha catches Sunny continuing to aggress though. Looking into T-spawn, poking the beast. The Flusha is eventually taken down by the long range T-side. They always had a man. Even when they were going to hit B through a mid-split, they would leave Sergey outside of long doors on A. This is the kind of aggression they like to push for. And there's the flash going above B. I like it, but the molly slowed them down, unfortunately. Yeah, once you focus on defending a certain part of the map more actively than maybe most do on your attack, it probably means on your defense, that's where you like to get aggressive. I think that's certainly played through for ENCE there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like it definitely, of course, is going to be that B commitment. I was going to say, the thing is, are ENCE going to give them many openings? And yeah, both of them just kind of swing on the tunnels. That's a very peculiar thing to go for. Sunny right now playing around the smoke, unfortunately not going to be given any chances either. Brolin just spams them down to find another opening yet again towards this B bomb site. The round is over. I was very surprised that they all just decided to swing right there. All 5 players were ready, just holding the tunnels. They didn't really have any info about what was going on elsewhere, so I guess the goal was try and maybe push into the tunnels, see if there's anything going to be found. And obviously ENCE again, with the loss bonus being at least 2,900, they will still have a pretty decent economy here, so they will be able to buy, especially with the 2 weapons being saved over. If they want, Alu can drop another secondary op as well if they want.
6 months ago, fnatic, I think it's fair to argue, are a different team now than they were 6 months ago, just by a tad.
Online as well. Fnatic online have been looking great.
Oh, look at this push holding down there as the rest of the team looks to retake mid. I think Alu might be under a little bit of pressure here, especially as he's used so much utility. That's a very nice nade. Does 30 damage to JW. It could have been a little bit better, especially when you're dealing up against the AWPer. 30 HP off isn't going to make that much of a difference.
Fnatic in an overall better spot right now in terms of the health. Sergey just chilling around on mid, so nothing crazy right now in terms of the hold, going 2 towards either side of the map. They actually have 2 players pushing in through tunnels, so that should find them quite a bit of info quickly here to work with. The question is, how quickly can they actually react to it now? Because already this command is getting ready to come in from both short and long. Golden finds Ariel up close. actually. Flusha being left to hold the lurk is going to be able to get one as well. And now it's all onto just one man around this bomb site. And even then, he's been forced back down into the CT spawn. Unfortunately, not able to get any vision over the smoke either, but they will still look to try and work in together from short. X7 finding one gives a bit of an opening. And to be fair, only now has the bomb managed to go down. Issue being they only have a single flash in terms of the nades, so that's all they really have to try and create some space as they move forward here on short, and it's unlikely Fnatic are going to give them any opportunities to find these openings. I mean, they have one player on Goose, one on the ramp who can just hold the crossfire with each other for once the push did actually come in close. They also don't have a player over on the long corner who can help out too. So they just weren't given any opportunities. ENCE realizing that are like, okay, we have to just back away and save again. Full loss bonus in the next round. With that, we can manage to scrape out a buy. Sunny can buy for himself. We can drop Aerial and Alu. But it's 10 for Fnatic, slowly but surely. I mean, they definitely have begun to look a lot better on this T side, and they're kind of flipping the script at this point.
This is where we saw them make that, bridge the gap up against Navi and Katowice, as I was saying. An incredibly dominant series against one of the best teams in the world as well. So for Fnatic, this is definitely their strong suit. And a fast push out B. Hello, Flusha, jumping up in the air and taking X7 out. Jumps again to avoid the shot of the off. And that will be the plant coming down on B. There's utility absolutely everywhere. This is the problem for ENCE. They've got to go save, really. Unless they get offered an opening very quickly. When you push into a round that quickly, Fnatic have got a lot of util. They have 2 mollies. They have 2 smokes left. They can keep you out of B for a long time. And they have an op, which is just fragging onto Alu. If they lose the site, maybe a minute in to a push coming through, maybe a split, then you can try and retake in a 4v5. I have no quandary with that at all. The issue is when it happens in the first 10 seconds, what if they wasted 2 smokes at most, really? A few flashes. They still have mollies. They still have smokes to keep you out, to run that clock down and make sure you don't get a lot of advantages. Playing exits here for ENCE was probably the best opportunity, but even still, there's so much money for Fnatic. Even though they've lost 2 players, buying back up will cost them practically.
So with the fact that they've been able to save for these last few rounds, they've always been able to bring over a couple players, continue to get these buys, so at least they're not being bounced back and forth between the half buys and the full buys. But I mean, that doesn't matter if they're not able to actually do anything with it.
They're going to be smoking on the corners and then actually moving forward, making a lot of noise as they do. But it looks like it's going to be B in the end. They've got their smokes for door already thrown through the roof of the B skybox, and the spray's coming in. X7 finds a kill, but they refocus. Fnatic starting to move in towards middle as they take down Alu, and now they're going to come up for a split a little bit later on.
Oh.
This is dangerous, but there's 3 CTs on the side. What is the push through from Sergey, though?
Yeah, that was a very dangerous push. I mean, they had a chance there to try and hold off the choke points together. They had the smokes down, I guess, feeling like they needed a kill before the T's begun to actually swarm the bomb site. ENCE were feeling pressured. They were like, okay, we send Sergey out. If he can get 1 or 2 kills quickly, then there's still 2 players left on the bomb site. They'll probably only expect 1 more at that point. We have a good chance to hold it down, but it backfired. Sergey fell immediately. Fnatic, they take themselves a 12th round, and ENCE this time having the fully buy up.
Looking to do the same old strat again. Like we said on the ENCE side, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's going to be a push in towards B with a split through CT. Molly lands a little shy, but it's not too bad. A big hold has to come through now over towards this site where Sergey is already lit to 2 HP. And very quickly, both players fall. That was a bit of a lightning round. Brolin continues to aggress through the smoke to eliminate Sunny, ensuring that they save even less. And with ENCE having no cash, this is so valuable for Fnatic. They can
just now, I mean, just willing to run through smokes time and time again, just chasing people down, no fear. And as you said, they are indeed trying to see if they can take away these 2 remaining weapons. I don't think they'll really be able to do too much, though, unless they continue to peek on the ENCE side. Although, as I say that, there is still a couple of seconds from the close in the distance, so indeed Alu has to face up initially. Okay, managed to get himself the second. That would have been the case, at least, if they hadn't got 2 ops to work with in this one. So, I mean, there's definitely still some chances here. The question is, what are they going to go for? Are they going to keep it standard? Or are we maybe going to see them take some sort of a gamble? Perhaps push somewhere. They see a couple players up close long, 1 player pushed up on short, and then kind of just standard with one player towards mid and 1 up close on the tunnels, actually, at the moment. Oh, that shot is connected. Unfortunately, not get.
The op spread out here. Sergey is looking to move forward. The nade pulled. He might just make a move on the back of that. Flusha could be in trouble, but Sergey's a little slow. He's being spotted, and the spam almost finishes him off. Flusha got the discipline not to overpeak, and as a nade lands on top of Brolin, the health of some of these Fnatic players is definitely going to be a big play a big factor to come into play as they push through to short. If Alu finds this first kill, the remaining players are both very low, and that could be easy for Aerial. There it is. 2 kills coming through. Sunny with another on the P250. JW's got low HP, and he's the last alive in a 1v5. And fnatic, this was their round. It was for free, Dean. Pistols for the most part, and yet here they are. The Ops not even playing that huge of a role. They lost it to the UMP for the most part. JW's got to pull off a 25-second 1v5. He's been flanked out on long as well, and now he's mollied out. So that should be the end of the round, and Alu seals it with a nade. That is one that ENCE had no...
In this round, I think that was very, very impactful. Then also, of course, finding...
fnatic definitely looking to barrel on forward. Guessing we're seeing this is a similar smoke execute to what we've seen before. That last one's a little bit late, so it delays them moving forward. Golden, the first man in, looking for contact on site, can't find it. Alu picks off one with the op, but he's forced back to long afterwards. We've seen fnatic do this quite a bit, but usually they're going to have a little bit of a long split later on with Crims and Flusha, but they decide against it this time, just fully committing in with such low time. Oh my god, Flusha. What was that on the drop down in CT? He's just taking down Sergey and Sunny. But yeah, this time, because there was so little time, they don't want to be pushing in through long late and risking the short players falling, losing the bomb, and leave the round. JW with a double as well. And X7 sat here wondering what the hell went on. fnatic with a very convincing 14th on the board, provided X7 doesn't have a spin bot.
I don't think so.
You never know.
Not that I know. I mean, maybe he really wants that 5th spot. Who knows? They'll still have enough money for one more buy in the reserve, so it's going to have to be a couple in a row for ENCE, which, as I said, we are yet to see from them. And at this point, ideally, they can't drop another round if they want to get that win in regulation. And right now, fnatic, as always, just feeling so confident. Crim's actually being the man to try and lead that charge out long. Unfortunately, he will get caught. Aerial slowing him down during his B-hop, able to make it a very easy target indeed. And that is ENCE finding themselves the 5-on-4 very early into this round. fnatic at least been able to get some short control for their efforts. They are still on the back foot for the moment, and you can see because of that, they are taking some gambles. Brolin actually trying to challenge towards A, ends up getting dinked up. And that's the risk. I mean, if it worked out, they'd be back in a 4-on-4. They'd have probably a favorable position. Instead...
Well, that means you got a lot of pressure on those players pushing out of the tunnels. Up above, easily done by Sergey. Spraying them down, almost taking a 3K. And with that, ENCE side from them here as well. You would definitely not be feeling too confident being fnatic in this position.
No, I don't think either team is going to be feeling very confident at this point. Just ENCE, especially because they haven't chained any rounds together. fnatic, though, just because it is 14-14. I mean, it happens all the time where you get so close on these comebacks.
Pretty much blind, having not played very aggressive themselves. I love this, though. The bomb going long, the smoke down in CT. That's going to keep the 3-man stack towards the B bomb site and make it so much easier for these guys. Golden carefully giving the bomb to his teammate so as not to make a sound cue, but the nade comes in anyways, and it does a lot of damage. Back turn, Golden goes out too early. The flash timing was horrible, and fnatic have lost the bomb on long. Sunny cautious in crossing over on middle. He knows they could be lurking around. Flush is gone, and with that, the round. 12 seconds left. 1v5 again for JW without his AWP this time, and he just hasn't got the time on the board. ENCE taking themselves a 15th. And that was so messy as well.
As I said, not the worst, but this is the chance. ENCE, they should be able to close this one out and take their map choice.
The possibility is certainly there, indeed the probability. Aerial almost gets taken out on long early on, but dodges the scout shot. You could hear it whistle past his ears. As they move into short. They've still got 3 smokes to play with, plenty of flashes and 2 mollies. So crossing over, let's take a look at the A site defense. Alu should be pushed back in the second by the flashes that come over, the smokes certainly, but he almost gets an opening for it. Usually when fnatic set up for those smokes, they've already got one down at the close box. This time they decide not to do it, and you see why that's not really the best of ideas. They realize that the CTs are onto them as Golden falls to a nade. The rest of the team split up to B. X7 holding down and Sergey, they've got to stop them here.
Well, X7's ready. Already getting one. Follows up at a second. Sergey going to be able to help out. And it's JW, who didn't have a weapon for a moment. Trades out to that M4, but left with 14 seconds. 4 opponents. And at this point, having to reload as well now as they're all pushing them down. It is just impossible. 16-14 for ENCE. They are eventually able to get the victory here for themselves on Dust2. But very